Imagine writing a single line of code. It looks completely harmless. No alarms go off. No one notices anything unusual. But that tiny mistake quietly spreads through a financial system. Hours later, hundreds of millions of dollars have disappeared. Companies are shocked. Investors panic. And engineers begin searching for the cause. What they eventually discover is almost impossible to believe. One of the most expensive software bugs in history was caused by a simple programming error. Background. In the early 1960s, computers were becoming more powerful than ever before. Governments, scientists, and businesses were beginning to trust machines with important calculations. Among the most ambitious projects of the era was the development of advanced rocket systems. These rockets depended on computers to perform extremely precise mathematical calculations. Even the smallest error could produce disastrous results. As technology advanced, programmers worked tirelessly to create software capable of handling these complex tasks. Most of the time, their programs worked perfectly, but sometimes hidden mistakes remained unnoticed. And one of those mistakes would soon become famous. The problem. In 1962, NASA launched the Mariner 1 spacecraft. Its mission was historic. The spacecraft was supposed to travel toward Venus and gather valuable scientific information. Years of planning had gone into the project. Engineers carefully designed the rocket. Scientists prepared experiments. Millions of dollars were invested. Everything seemed ready. Then the launch began. For a few moments, everything appeared normal. The rocket lifted off successfully. Mission controllers watched their screens. The spacecraft climbed higher into the sky. But suddenly, something went wrong. The rocket began drifting away from its intended path. At first, engineers hoped the guidance system would correct itself. It didn't. The deviation became worse. Every second increased the danger. Escalation. Mission Control quickly realized the rocket was no longer following safe instructions. The guidance computer was receiving incorrect information. Instead of stabilizing the vehicle, it was making the problem worse. Engineers raced to understand what was happening. But events were unfolding too quickly. The rocket continued moving farther from its planned trajectory. If it remained airborne, it could eventually threaten populated areas. Controllers faced a difficult decision. After only a few minutes of flight, they activated the destruction system. The rocket exploded over the Atlantic Ocean. The mission was over. Years of work had vanished in seconds. The financial loss was enormous. But the biggest question remained unanswered. What had caused the failure? Climax. Investigators spent weeks examining data from the launch. Eventually, they discovered something astonishing. The disaster was linked to a tiny error in the guidance software. During development, a mathematical symbol had been omitted from the program's specifications. It was an incredibly small detail, easy to overlook. Yet that missing symbol changed how the computer interpreted important flight data. As the rocket encountered minor variations in movement, the software reacted incorrectly. Instead of ignoring harmless fluctuations, it treated them as serious deviations. The guidance system issued faulty corrections. Those corrections pushed the rocket farther and farther off course. A single missing character had destroyed an entire space mission. The mistake became so famous that it was often described as one of the most expensive software bugs ever recorded. Aftermath. The loss of Mariner 1 was a major setback. However, engineers carefully studied the failure. They improved testing procedures. They strengthened software verification methods. And they became much more cautious when reviewing critical code. Just a few months later, NASA launched Mariner 2. This time, the mission succeeded. The spacecraft reached Venus and became the first successful mission to another planet. The lessons learned from the earlier failure helped make that achievement possible. Conclusion. The story of Mariner 1 reveals an important truth about technology. Powerful machines are only as reliable as the instructions they receive. A tiny software error can have enormous consequences. Whether it's a spacecraft, an airplane, or a modern computer system, small mistakes can grow into massive failures when nobody notices them in time. Sometimes history is changed not by huge disasters or dramatic decisions. Sometimes it is changed by a single missing symbol. If you like this video, then subscribe for more.